Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. I've got a very interesting story for you. Oh, yeah, Connor's side hustle. This thing just got weird, okay? This is odd as it can be, and we're going to get into this story, but it involves a vacuum cleaner. This thing just gets stranger and stranger. I mean, it really is kind of starting to blow my mind. And the twists and turns and all this kind of stuff are just, they're getting a little out of hand. Connor was into a lot of stuff, but we're going to get into this story. And we're also going to see the response of the All-American Blake Corm. We're going to see what he has to say about this because it turns out they were technically in business together, but I don't think Blake even knew. And this is a breaking story. It's all over the place. Michigan running back, he's an All-American, Blake Corm, denies any business link to ex-analyst Connor Stalions. Said, my attorneys are on this. Says, Wyoming state documents emerged Tuesday linking both Stalions and Corm to an LLC-based business out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. It talks about Blake Corm denied any business dealings with former Wolverines analyst, talking about how they had an LLC together. And I'm going to actually show you the video of him responding. I won't even read you this part. But the LLC came to light as part of a report on the Wall Street Journal concerning a lawsuit filed against Stalions by a homeowners association in Ann Arbor. He's accused of operating an appliance refurbishing business out of his home, which was a direct violation of the HOA bylaws. According to the Wall Street Journal's report, the HOA's investigation began after dozens of old vacuum cleaners appeared on his front porch, angering neighbors. Now look, Stalions is in the middle of a huge sign-stealing saga, as we all know. He was purchasing tickets to all of Michigan's opponents' games. Then he was sending either himself or surrogates to watch the game, but more importantly, record the game with their smart cameras, both of which is against the rules by the NCAA. You're not allowed to forward scout like that, and you're certainly not allowed to use recording devices. So that's caused an absolute firestorm. Then we saw him on the bench of Central Michigan wearing Central Michigan garb, shirt, hat, all this stuff. He was incognito, in disguise. But I had no idea he was selling vacuum cleaners too. And there's also been reports that how he made some of his money was by selling some of this information to other teams. Now, he may have been giving them the information if it was opponents of Michigan, or maybe he wanted them to get knocked out of the playoff, aka Tennessee and Clemson. We've talked a lot about that. Or he may have been selling the information. That's a rumor that's going around as well, that was a side business. So this guy must have had multiple side businesses, I would assume. Now, let's see what Blake Corm said on Twitter about this. And this is on, it looks like Captain Spartan actually put this on Twitter. Let's let you listen to what Blake had to say.
A contract sort of surfaced on social media tonight that's linking you with Connor is what?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. My first time hearing it was when I went out to practice. And first of all, I have no businesses with him. I don't have any business with Connor, anything like that. But I'm glad whoever found it, whoever was searching the web was able to find that. I appreciate you. My attorneys are on it. You know, we'll definitely get that figured out right away and get my name taken off or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? But right before I went to practice, Twitter, I saw that on Twitter, but no parts of that whatsoever. My attorney's on it. And like I said, whoever found it, appreciate you, because now I can take care of it.
Just like you're saying you didn't invest with Connor at all?
Heck no, man. Heck no.
So he forged, or I mean,
I don't know what he did. You know what I'm saying? I guess he would have to, or I don't even know how that works. But it will be taken care of. You know, talked with my attorney actually right before I came out here, so they're on it.
Did you know he had a vacuum cleaning? I don't even know what business.
Nah, you know that's something I'm not really into. You know, vacuums aren't my thing. You know, I'm a clean person, but I'm not a cleaner. You know, but you know, vacuums aren't my thing. So I don't know anything about that. Like I said, I saw it right before I went out to practice. Maybe other people trying to use it as a distraction, but it's not a distraction for me because I appreciate them finding it. You know what I'm saying? So I can take care of it. So. You know, that's that.
So, yeah, this is what everybody's talking about on Twitter, that this business with the selling the vacuums and refurbishing and all this stuff. And there's been some other stuff. Now, there was another business that he actually had on the side that a lot of people don't know about, and I've discovered it. I've actually got a little video clip of it, which I think it's kind of interesting. He was also in disguise, just like he was with the Central Michigan thing. And this is where he was selling actually a salve that actually cured the mange.
We could pay your regular 35 cents a jar and then sell it for a little more and make some profit for ourselves.
That's right. So he was doing that too. He had the vacuum salesman business, that obviously Blake Corm didn't know about. And then, of course, the Miracle Salve company that he was investing in, and the sign stealing and possibly selling the information. So the guy was very busy. He had a lot of irons in the fire to make extra money. But just to give you an update on everything, Monday, the Big Ten sent out a notice of allegations to Michigan. They had 48 hours to respond, so they'll be responding today. Now, everybody was assuming they might levy penalties against either the team, school, or a coach. I think they're going to come after the head coach for some sort of lack of institutional control, and it's considered a sportsmanship thing is in the bylaws of the Big Ten. So they can suspend him for 2 games.
Suspended! I gotta play! Doug, kick him off the tour.
Without Michigan being able to do much about it. If they go to 4 games suspension, and then it has to have a vote, and there's a lot of talk that Michigan will be getting an attorney involved, and they'll litigate and try to get an injunction in order to stop this, which a lot of people think will be tough. I don't think it's going to be tough, because it's a matter of finding a judge in Michigan that is probably elected. Who is he really going to go against Michigan? You know, I would think they could get a temporary restraining order or injunction or whatever.
I'll slap an injunction on them so fast it'll make their head spin.
But Tony Petitti, who is the commissioner, actually had gone to the president of Michigan, which is President Ono, and asked him to suspend him. And Ono said, no way, I'm not doing that. Due process, due process. And Petitti's got 11 or 12 or 30, however many coaches left in the Big Ten that are screaming at him left and right to do something about this guy. And I told you about the Zoom call where they were literally losing their mind in there. And one of them was crying, and it was just really bad. And there was a lot of ugliness. And that was from 5 different sources, according to the news media. So what I think is going to happen, I think probably tomorrow, they're going to probably hit him with either a 2-game or a 4-game suspension. And then Michigan will be running to the court probably as quick as they can, because they got the Penn State game coming up Saturday, which is a very important game. It's a top 10 club. And I'm sure they'd like to have their head coach there. So this thing's getting real interesting. The NCAA also came out and said they were not able to connect Jim Harbaugh to having information about Connor Stalions and what all he was doing. And my understanding is that's plausible deniability, but that also doesn't answer the lack of institutional control, which would obviously be the issue for the NCAA. You know, even if you technically aren't involved or don't know about it for whatever reason, I don't know how you could possibly not know. The guy was right underneath his nose. He was talking to the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I saw a video where Jim Harbaugh was taking off his headphones and listening to Connor. So, you know, he knew what he was doing. Maybe he didn't know the depths, but his plausible deniability, I don't think is going to get him out of trouble with the NCAA, but he's trying to push that off because you know the NCAA, they do not move fast. So all this is probably going to come down the next probably 24 hours, I would think. Certainly before the Penn State game, I wouldn't think they'd push it past that, especially if they want to do a 4-game suspension. But we will see. But I thought you would want to see this story because this thing is just getting crazier and crazier. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the SEC, the Big Ten, this Michigan scandal, of course, and always my team, the Vols. And if you've not subscribed, it's on your right, my left. Just hit that little button. I would appreciate it. Makes it super easy for you to get my videos, and it'll send it right to you. It doesn't cost you a penny. And right over here is the most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.